Now, over the past couple of weeks, we have been journeying through the Gospel of Matthew, and we've had the privilege of hearing two stories already. And the first story was the story of the centurion, a Roman guard, and Jesus. Now, he approached Jesus to have his servant healed, and because of his great faith, Jesus marveled and said he had not seen any faith, not in all of Israel, such as this faith. And because of that faith, his servant was healed. Now, the second week, we heard a story that was just as remarkable, if not more. But this time, we heard a story about how Jesus was master over all the elements as he commanded the wind and the sea to be still. Now, this week, we're going to hear another remarkable story about Jesus and his power. And this is our story. Now, when he came to the other side, into the country of the Gadarenes, two men who were demon possessed came to him out of the tombs. They were so violent, so amazingly violent that people couldn't even pass by. And so they said to Jesus, "What business do we have with each other, Son of God? Have you come to torment us before our time?" Now, off in the distance, there was a herd of many, many swine not far from them. And they said, imploring Jesus, entreating him, saying, "Cast us into that herd of swine." And Jesus said, "Go." And so the swine were cast out. They went out from them. They went into the swine over the cliff and perished in the sea. Now, when the herdsmen that were around, when they saw this, they went back to the city. And there they reported everything they saw, including what had happened to the demoniacs. But the people in the city, well, they wanted to meet with Jesus. And when they did, they met with Jesus and they asked them, they said, "Please do not return again to our region." So this is our story. And so I have a few questions that we have concerning this story. Number one, can somebody tell me some of the characters or in this story, who were some of the characters? Let me get Evangel first. I'll come to you just a second.
Jesus, the disciples, and the maniacs.
Jesus, the disciples, and the demoniacs. Yeah. Jude, can you tell me what was the story about?
About Jesus healing the demoniacs.
About Jesus healing the demoniacs. Now, can you tell me anything else about this story? So Jesus healed the two demoniacs. What does this story tell us about Jesus?
That Jesus has power or authority over all supernatural powers and principalities.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, so you're right. This story tells us that Jesus has power over all principalities. Because who are principalities in this story? The demons, right? Wicked forces, things like the book of Ephesians tells us. Jesus has power over all wicked forces. In fact, so much he commands them to come out. Now, he commanded them to come out. Well, where did they go? Asher?
Into the swine.
Into the swine. What are swine?
Swine are pigs.
Swine or pigs. Very good. Excellent. So, story tells us, what do you think this story is similar to? Maybe Mom, you can help me with this. How is this story similar to last week's story? What does it show us about Jesus?
But he has power over all things.
Yeah.
That any issue, there's nothing that he can't fix or heal or handle. There's nothing greater than him.
There's nothing greater than him. So that's exactly right. These two stories showed us that there's nothing that Jesus doesn't have power over. That he has power to heal, that he has power over the elements, that there's nothing, not the storms in life or the powers and principalities against us in our life, that are more powerful than Jesus. So what do you think this story teaches us? So that's what the story tells us, and those are the characters. Who else is another character? Somebody forgot. There's There's
herd.
the herd of pigs. That's right, the pigs. Yeah.
And
Oh, and the herdsmen, and the herdsmen, yeah. And they went back to the city and they told them because they were probably pretty amazed, huh? Now, this might be a hard question, so just tell me what you think. But why do you think the people in the city told Jesus to go away? I mean, he just did something amazing. Why would they tell him to go away?
They were afraid of him. They were afraid of his power. They saw who he was, and they didn't want to submit
Hmm,
to that power.
that's good. Yeah.
Um,
So, and I think this is probably close to the answer. I think Mom is right that they were afraid of who he was. Maybe they didn't want to submit to his lordship. Maybe they thought they'd have to sit there and think, well, if this guy can do that, what else can he disrupt? Maybe he can come in here and upstage the way we have things set up. Maybe disturb our comfort zone. But whatever this guy can do, this Jesus guy, we don't want him around because he seems pretty powerful. That's probably the idea that they had. So, what do you think in this story we could obey? If we were reading this passage and we thought, how do I obey this passage in my life? What does this tell me about God that I can
I know.
obey? Jude?
You can share toys with others.
You can be a sharer. Well, not really in this story, but I think that's great, and so that's okay. That's okay. Um, Evangel.
You said God is pretty. You can say he's pretty powerful. He's super powerful.
That's right. And so Evangel said, I said God is pretty powerful, but what he is all powerful, super powerful, and that's right. That's something we can learn from this story. Is that God is all powerful. No, y'all are doing great. But I think something that we can obey is, let me think. Hold on one second. Let me think. How can I, what is something that we can obey? If we just heard the story of Jesus using his power to cast out demons, and we heard how other people didn't want to have anything to do with Jesus because he was so powerful, how could we obey something like that? What do you think?
we can submit to his lordship. We can choose to obey and go to him, and as all having all authority and all power over our own lives.
That's good. That's good. So what Mom says is we can choose to submit to his lordship because he is all powerful. And so, yeah, so because he is Lord over all things, we can trust that submitting to him, that he is all powerful in everything we do. And so that's great. So who's somebody that we could tell? Like think of who's somebody that we could share this story with that we could tell? Evangel?
Zoe's team.
Zoe's team. Because Zoe's team is actually going across the world. That's great, Jude. Thank you. Zoe's team is going across the world on the mission field to places that don't believe um, or know anything about Jesus and the Gospels. And so she can share this story. That's excellent. With other people to show how powerful Jesus is, even over the demons and things and spirits they may believe in their culture. That's a great answer, Jude. Evangel, do you have
So other people on the other side of the world don't know what Jesus is like. He's like the most powerful superhero out of all superheroes.
Yeah. So people don't realize how powerful Jesus is on the other side of the world. That's right. Okay. What about you, Ash? Do you have somebody you think we could tell?
Grandparents who don't really believe in God that were Catholic.
Yeah. And so our grandparents and many of our family, unfortunately, they know Jesus, but they don't realize how powerful he is. In fact, sometimes maybe people may think they know Jesus, but the Jesus that they know is not the Jesus of the Bible. It's not the Jesus that has the power to command the winds and the wave. It's not the Jesus that has the power over evil forces. It's more like a kind of like a lucky rabbit's foot or something. Like a prosperity, just like, well, we believe that Jesus can do this for us, kind of like a Santa Claus maybe. But Jesus is more powerful than all of those things. And that's excellent. So, you know what, guys? We were able to tell what this story meant. who the characters were, able to see how we can obey the Lordship of Christ, and also share the fact that we can take this story anywhere in the world to say, hey, Jesus is more powerful than anything in this world. He commands things, go, and they go. He commands, be still, and it is stilled. That's great. Hey guys, amazing. Good job.